with your hand is hygienic. Americans don't wash their hands, perhaps. We wash our hands and we eat the way we want to.
I am Donald Trump's worst nightmare.
Well, then we'll have to arrest him.
If Mamdani was to run for elections from India, which party would he choose? Congress, BJP, Aam Aadmi Party?
Is he an American Kejriwal, or is he somewhere the very antithesis of what Donald Trump represents?
Do you think if Mamdani fails to win this election, will Mamdani make his big screen debut with Meera Nair's movie? Because he was a rapper as well. America is not ready for an Indian origin or a Muslim mayor for a city like New York. So ma'am, are you aware of the name Zohran Mamdani, the internet personality? So do you know this guy?
No idea.
So his name is Zohran Mamdani and he's running for the mayor of New York City. What do you think of this guy? He's the guy who's taken over the internet right now. He's the Indian origin, the most controversial Indian origin personality in America right now.
Biryani Nair's son, right?
Yes,
Right.
yes.
He's a great guy. New blood is always welcome. New ideas are better. So listen to him, what he has to say.
I think the fact that he's Indian and he has an opinion, that's okay.
What do you like the most about him? Is he good looking? Is he the principles that he stands on, that runs on?
He speaks well. He comes across well. He's a good orator. And he speaks from his heart.
So if Mamdani had to run for elections in India, which party would he choose?
I choose the party that represents our country in the best way. I don't think I'm fully informed to give up the best answer, but I don't think like the person matters as much as, or their culture matters as much as what they do.
That's a very good answer. What about you?
I think party politics are changing a lot these days. It's not completely that which party you're supporting. It's a lot about which politician and whose ideology are you supporting. So yeah, it comes down to that. It's not a particular party that we can name.
Yeah, I guess he's like a Kejriwal. He's Aam Aadmi guy,
American
right?
Kejriwal.
You would think, right? You would think. I don't think he's a BJP guy. So Congress maybe, but I'm not sure.
But do you think that since his mother is the great Meera Nair, the great filmmaker Meera Nair, do you think it's just about time till he makes his big screen debut?
Matlab, who am I to decide? It's for him to decide.
I can't comment on that. I don't know.
If he doesn't have anything better to do, maybe. But I don't know. Does he have the acting chops or something? Or
I mean, he was a rapper before this. So.
Oh, he's an artist, I guess, already.
Exactly.
I would say go for it then. There's
Would
a
you
lot
pay to
of.
see him on the big screen.
I'll have to check the Rotten Tomatoes first. So we'll see. If it's a good movie, I'll go see it.
So what do you think, Zohran Mamdani? He's getting a lot of backlash for being of Indian origin, eating with his hands. The Republican Party, Donald Trump's party, is bashing him left and right. So what do you think? What's happening in New York?
I think we've seen this before. It happened with the UK, like with Rishi Sunak in the UK as well. I think given the fact that he is an American citizen, I don't think the fact that he's Indian should put people off, but he's an American citizen at the end of the day, and it should end with that. If he's a worthy candidate, the race isn't really consequential to it at all. Like,
There's something bad. Eating from hands is our culture, It's our ancient culture. They don't know about the health benefits of eating with hands. That is why Goras never knew what is the benefit of eating with the hands. And second thing, Donald Trump is going mad these days, Against one day, first day he speaks anything, second day he speaks other thing for the same thing. So he is having a lot of opinions. I think he is going to be mad and he should step down from the president post.
At first, India steals our haldi and then calls it golden something like milk. And then it steals our designs. They've been wearing the pattas with dresses now, calling it some really fancy name. So my point being, after a period of time, say like 5 years, they're going to be eating with your hands and shit and then be calling it something super fancy. They hate it just because an Indian is doing it.
I think Indians are rising, definitely. We shouldn't pay too much attention to Republicans or Donald Trump,
The people are calling him out for his policies, like he's gonna provide free bus rides for people, subsidized rents. If you remember, this happened in Delhi's last election as well. Then Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal also said that I'm gonna give out freebies. So people are also calling him out for that, and also supporting Gaza, supporting Palestine, supporting the Gaza cause. So do you think that there is space for an Indian origin mayor who supports these things in America right now?
Oh, yes, there should be. There should be a space for everybody to speak and express his opinion in the public. And USA should respect all these sentiments. Otherwise, as we have heard that those students or academicians who are talking about Gaza are supporting their... Yes, maybe. There may be two sides of the mirror.
You know, even Donald Trump is also doing the freebies for the Elon Musk, you know, a lot of things. And he has won because of Elon Musk only, because he has pumped in $1 billion in the election and all, you know. So freebies because America economically is in a very bad shape. He must be wanted to do something unique for the poor people who are sleeping on the road, sleeping on the footpath, and people don't have the food even in America. If you go sometime visit America, there's a lot of queues. If you organize the langar, Indian langar, then there's a 10-kilometer queue for the langar, just for the one plate of food, you know.
That's really painful. Why should you draw parallel? No, but that's really painful because why should you?
I personally, I'm not a socialist, I'm more of a capitalist. And I think that the market should speak. It's great to have handouts, but it's difficult to pay for it. Like, I think we have almost 30 trillion in debt nationally. I know the city of New York is heavily in debt. So, I mean, it has to come from somewhere. You can't just keep on increasing all the taxes. But we do have inequality in the United States. So we have a segment which are billionaires who are paying a very small amount of tax on a basis of their income. So he's talking to that group of people, trying to get that vote. But no, I don't see, it's not sustainable, right? You have to have a way to pay for these things.
Exactly, New York, because why not? If not $1 billion city, then which city? Firstly, it's not exactly free if it's the taxpayers' money, right? From somewhere or the other, we are the people who are paying for it.
Okay. Do you know who's the mayor of Delhi?
Can I go now?
Do you have the slightest of clue who's the mayor of Delhi?
I'm not from Delhi, so...
Oh, you're not from Delhi?
Yeah, but I don't know the mayor of my own city either. So yeah, we should be more political.
Are you from Delhi?
I'm from Gurgaon, yeah, but I come here, so I should know.
I think... Okay, so do you see the setting sun? Is that the future of our generation? Would you vote for him if you were a New Yorker?
I'll read more about him and then decide.
I would go all over for this guy. I would love him.
What are the qualities
Flamboyantly.
just by looking at him? What do you see?
Seems like a nice guy. Somebody I would offer my coffee to.
Oh. So this Mamdani mayhem has divided the internet. So we asked a few people in our newsroom to use their deadliest weapon. Their hands. Their bare hands. So let's bite into the controversy and chew out the double standards of the West. They say that eating with your hands is dirty, it is uncivilized, that Mamdani needs to go back to his third world. This is what Republican lawmaker Brandon Gill said, quote unquote, on Twitter. So you've covered war zones, you've covered elections. So how does this compare, eating with your bare hands, an old school American burger?
So, I mean, what do the Americans eat a burger with? With a fork or a knife? I mean, that's such stupid conversation, when they say, go back to your third world. And it just reflects, one, their lack of knowledge. Two, their attitude. This white man syndrome. This white man says, go back to your third world and the works. Not that I support whatever Mamdani's been saying and it's their politics. They need to handle it on their own. But you don't eat a burger with a fork and a knife, do you? You don't eat a pizza with a fork and a knife. You eat it with your hand. And we, of course, eating with your hand is hygienic. Americans don't wash their hands, perhaps. We wash our hands and we eat the way we want to. We don't need any white man telling us how we should eat and how we shouldn't. But when it comes to their politics, I don't agree with what Mamdani says about so many things, but that's for America and their voters to decide whatever they may want to do. But if he has a right to vote, if he has a right to stand in elections, it's for the electorate there to decide whether they want him in office or they don't. At the same time, we don't want any white man to tell us how we should eat.
I feel civilized. I mean, I while eating, it is my choice, my stomach, my mouth. It's my choice. I want to eat the way I want. I mean, I'm not I'm not going somewhere and disturbing somebody and saying, you can't eat that way. Nobody has a right to tell me that if I am civilized or not, as long as I am well civilized and I'm not using any indecent language, which the Republicans are saying. I mean, even when you're talking about, even when America is saying that they're the oldest democracy and they're preaching people, their own people are talking that there are people, third world countries. If this is how you treat the third world countries, what do we look forward to? I mean, what do we see in Americans then?
Look, I think the rise of a politician like Mr. Mamdani is a product of the fact that we live in an extremely hyper-polarized world. Mamdani feeds into that hyperpolarization in a way because he represents a certain viewpoint that is stridently opposed to what, let's say, the Trumpian Republicans represent. So naturally, he becomes a target for them. So I think we live in these very, very polarized times, and therefore Mamdani's rise and success also makes him a target for those who feel offended by what he stands for, and dare I say, even the religious identity that he represents.
So if the name wasn't Mamdani, if the name wasn't Zohran Mamdani, and if he ate with a fork and knife, this wouldn't have happened.
Look, I think if his name wasn't Zohran Mamdani, I don't think it would certainly attract some of the extremely hostile reaction he's facing. I mean, it's not as if leaders with the political views of a Mamdani have not been targeted by the right in America. For example, a Bernie Sanders a few years ago. But because you're Zohran Mamdani, you carry the additional baggage for the right-wing Republicans that here is someone, a son of immigrants, who wears his identity on his sleeve and therefore is in their face. And I think that's what many people feel discomforted by.
Is Mamdani a friend of India? Because a lot of people are pulling out his old bites, his anti-India stance. People are saying that he won't be a friend of India. And since he's going to become the mayor, if he wins, he's going to become the mayor of New York. It's the diplomatic circle of the world, the United Nations. So do you think that Mamdani's politics, because during his whole political campaign, he's been using his roots, his Indian roots for the Indian diaspora votes. He's using Bangladeshi diaspora. He's doing Bangladesh campaigns in Bengali. So do you think he'll be a friend of India? Because if you look at his past, it's not very friendly.
So somebody who lies through his teeth, somebody who says that people don't believe that there are Gujarati Muslims left in this world. One, it shows his ignorance. It shows the ignorance of the electorate there if they buy into that narrative. But there is this ecosystem that's been trying to spread canards. They've done that in India and they've done that overseas. Is in this interconnected world, at least those who read can see through such elements. Those who don't, and sadly a number of Americans don't, they may buy into that narrative, but such narrative will not last long. Especially in today's day and age, when India and Indians will speak up, they will stand up and speak up because you speak the truth. Whatever is the truth, you speak that truth. If you say there are no Muslims left in Gujarat, I mean, how silly can you be to even say something like that? In a world where everyone knows what's happening across the world, and yet he says that. So as Abhishek Manu Singhvi very rightly put it, that every time he speaks, Pakistan's PR agency takes a break.
Is he an American Kejriwal, or is he somewhere the very antithesis of what Donald Trump represents? I think Mamdani's socialistic politics can be deeply troubling, particularly this sort of freebie culture that is seemingly being encouraged by some of his policies. And I think that's where you can have a debate with him, engage with him on his economic policies. Absolutely. Why engage with Mamdani or why damn Mamdani for his religious identity? That is unacceptable to me. You want to challenge Mamdani? Challenge him in the belief that he is practicing a kind of old world socialism that many believe has no place in the new world. By all means, question him on that. But to attack him for the fact that he was born in luxury, or that he's the son of Meera Nair, or that he's a Muslim is unacceptable to me, because that reveals to me the hollowness of some of the Trump Republicans and what they represent.
If you were a New Yorker, would you vote for Mamdani? Because I was speaking to an NRI who said that he's just American Kejriwal, because his policies are exactly that way.
So I'm not an American voter. I would leave it to the American voters to decide, who they want in power. Do they want chaos? Do they want anarchy? Or do they want growth? And especially in a city like New York, I've traveled to New York several times. I've reported from New York, and I would hate to see New York go to the dogs the way it already is, and God forbid it could go from bad to worse. That clearly shouldn't happen, but then it's for the American voters to decide.
I don't think he's anti-India. He's clearly a critic of Prime Minister Modi. I think we should make a distinction between governments and a country. I think those like Kangana Ranaut have every reason to challenge what Mamdani says. It's a free world, and she should have the right to challenge Mamdani's views on Modi and Gujarat. But let's not brand him so easily as anti-India, because then again, I think we are missing the wood for the trees. Being anti a particular government or a particular leader doesn't necessarily make you anti-India. Maybe, Kangana Ranaut versus Zohran Mamdani would be a pretty decent debate to have on TV. If you can organize it, please line it up.
A lot of people and by people I mean a lot of female followers of Mamdani say that he's very good looking, and a lot of people say that he's going to garner a lot of votes because of his looks. Do you find him attractive? I mean, if you were a New Yorker, would you vote for him based on his looks?
No, it would be on work. Absolutely on work. I mean, I don't think I can. A look can get the work done. He's a lawmaker. He's going to be a mayor, and he's not supposed to. I don't think he can do anything in New York with his looks. He can do everything with his work. That's with his merit. I mean, so everything that if he's getting elected, I think it should not be on his looks. It's because of the work that he'll do.
So Delhi might not know who exactly Mamdani is, but they have hot opinions, hot takes. So if Mamdani, you manage to survive American politics and the wrath of Donald Trump, of course, you might have a chance in New Delhi as well. Who knows? Someday. But until then, thank you for watching India Today Global.